tried to reach out to the man who died in this pursuit. They were unavailable for comment. Micah, back.
That kills me every time. That's funny.
Yeah, I know.
The man who died. No kidney dick response. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining the King's Court. I'm Richie King, your host, the bad man of comedy. Of course, I got my friend, my compadre, my cohort, my partner in crime, Mr. Commander there. Commander, how you, sir?
I'm doing fine. And if Mr. Dean comes on, if he'll notice, I got a capital C down there.
Yeah, ain't bad. Ain't bad. What, 2 months? 2 months? Yeah, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
The wheels turn slow around here, but they do turn now.
They do turn. They do turn.
Guys, share all this out. We got 2 guests on here with us today that need no introduction, but I'm gonna give them to them anyway. But share it out so we can get this out to people. We're gonna have a lightning conversation today, and some people are gonna get pissed off and they're gonna get mad and they're gonna get angry. And I really don't give a rat's ass, but
it's always better to be pissed off than pissed on, as the old saying goes.
Yes.
Just saying.
I got a joke about that, and I made a lot of money off that term. So I'm just saying, true is true. Or my mother always had a weird ass saying: "You can get glad in the clothes you got mad in."
That's right.
I never understood that. Mom, I wash my clothes. But it was good meaning about that. So, guys, you know how we do this. We do our missing persons, we do our news, and then we get into our mystery. And today, it's a mystery that Dan and Heath are here. So they're going to be our mysteries today. We're going to have a great conversation. First, I want to shout out and say thank you, everybody watching on Comedy Vets Facebook, Comedy Vets YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us on Backwoods Retro Media. Guys, if you could share this out to Vincent Cooper real quick. For some reason, I never can share that guy. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if he offended somebody or what the deal is.
Every week
on Facebook, I guess. I don't know. And I'm waiting on. Oh, here he is, right here. I'll just say, we got my buddy Russell Reynolds on there. He's a paranormal investigator. He's not a damn ghost hunter, and he don't like to be called that. He's a paranormal investigator.
That's right.
He's got a major announcement. Plus, he's going to be going over the missing persons for us here in just a second. So without any further ado,
ado.
Yeah. No, not that one. This one right here. Okay, here we go. Let me share this on here. Go back here. Bring this up. All right. Like I said, our friend Russell Reynolds joined here. He's got a major announcement. But first, before you announce anything, let's go over your missing person that you sent me here. All right. You want to tell us a little? I'll read him. Then I want you to tell us a little bit about the goings-ons here. Okay. All right.
Okay.
His name's Richard Jones. He's from Ditmer, Missouri. He was last seen March 29 of 2022. Age 42. 5'11", 250 pounds. Just not a small man. Okay. You can't miss this guy. Okay. That's about like me walking into a room right there. You can't miss me. Okay. He's an 18-year Air Force veteran. So he's got some intelligence if he's an Air Force veteran. Okay. 18-year Air Force veteran he's reported missing in late May of 2022 after not being seen for over a month. So technically he's missing since April. When his home was searched, all of his belongings and his car was still at the residence. Being gone missing, he had shown signs of PTSD. Some of us suffer with that, and we know this is a debilitating thing. It really is, and had lost his local job. It remains unknown what the landlord did with his belongings or his car, as the families were unable to retrieve them. Additionally, his computer and other belongings were never processed for evidence. This sounds like this is the case here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, call if you have any information. Get a hold of MPIA, Missing Persons America, or call the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department at 636-797-5000. Case number 22-17593. Again, that's the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. 636-797-5000. Case number 22-1759-3. Take a good look one more time. That's the only picture they got of him. All right, let's go back over here. Let's talk about this, Russell. You sent this to me. Where did you learn about this? Where was you at?
I was working with some friends that are fellow paranormal investigators, psychics, and we started working missing person, and they were bringing the paranormal aspect into it with spirit communication. So they were doing Estes methods with this, trying to pick up what happened with him. And what we could determine that he didn't want to be a burden to his family, and he actually was seen hiking away from his house, and a deputy had spotted him, stopped him, ran his record, nothing suspicious. He came back clean. Deputy gave him a ride to this campground, and the time of year that this took place, the campground would have been closed. And that was where he was last seen, was hiking by that campground, and that was it. Some of my psychic medium friends that she's a legit medium, she come up with the conclusion she heard a gunshot, seen like the hole to the back of the head. So we were putting two and two together, and my feelings on it, that with the PTSD, he didn't want to be a burden on his family, because his family hasn't talked to him back. They live back east. They haven't talked to him for years. And we have a feeling that he hiked into either the campground or the forest and offed himself because he didn't want to be a burden to nobody. And with him losing his job, he was battling depression. And they kept hearing a bullet ricocheting like off a rock, and then he was down by water. So we're researching this campground to find out if there's a lake anywhere near in the vicinity in the woods back there, and this is down near the Mark Twain National Forest. So
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. I'm sure the family would love some closure. So if you guys know anything, see anything, call. I mean, you would love it if someone would help you with your loved one. Call and find out. We got a lot of people up around Cameron area that mysteriously come missing, and nobody has a clue. And kind of the same MO. They find their belongings one place and the car up one place, and not them. So, yeah, there's a lot of strange things going on in this country, and we don't want to forget about the missing. So keep your eye out for those. And Russell, thank you for that. Now, Russell, you got an announcement you want to make. I know you're on your platform and on ours, so go ahead and give us your information.
Well, this weekend I'm going to be settling a debate in Richie's house.
Yes, that's right. The debate
on Saturday.
That's right. He's bringing his cameras out. It means I got to vacuum my floor. He's bringing his cameras out, and we're going to take him upstairs, and we're going to let him snoop. Okay. The debate in my house is my daughter, my wife think there's ghosts in here. All right. I'm not sure what there is. Don't really care. But I'm having Russell, because I trust him, to come in and solve a debate. If you got a ghost, if we got, if it's a full-grown ghost, if it's a kid ghost, animal ghost, whatever. Russell's going to be the one to determine that. I'm not going to push him, punch him, or make him say anything. Right? It's going to be live where you can see what's going on. So that way we know nobody's full of crap. All right. And whether you believe in ghost hunting or not, or ghost investigations or not, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to settle the debate so I can have some daggone peace in my house. Okay. So thank you, Russell, for that, brother.
You're welcome.
All right, brother. Thank you. I'll talk to you here closer to the end of the week, brother.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right, brother. You take care of yourself. Have a good day.
Yep. You too.
Yeah, bye. Russell, guys, he's out of Breckenridge. He's right down the road. So we're going to solve that dilemma. I might paint my face and get my sage. Well, I ain't going to do all that. It's silly. But I might just stay out of the way and let him do his thing.
My daughter thinks we got a ghost here in this house, to the point that she calls her Charlotte. So when something comes up missing, when she puts it in a particular place, or I put something in a particular place and it's not there, and then it finds it someplace else, she says, "Oh, Charlotte's up to her shenanigans."
Blame poor Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte wasn't stealing nothing. Maybe Alan Reed misplaced it, or BJ misplaced it. Speaking of BJ, she's in the house. She says, "Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you, Mr. Lane, Mr. Gilbert." Oh, executive producer Jennifer. Hey, glad to see you, Jennifer. Hope you're doing well. She's a military veteran who survived cancer, She's been battling the hell out of cancer.
Yay!
And so far, she's whooping it. She's throwing them body shots on it and trying to take it down. So I hope she continues on.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our memes and news because I want to get to the gentleman here and get our conversation going here. Get to pissing people off. All right, here's some of our memes for today. If I get on the right screen, we're on. Oh, first I want to talk about we had a great show in Hamilton, guys. Missed the show down there at the Jigs and Gigs Tavern down there. What an immense amount of people were at this thing. I heard numbers of 250. I heard numbers of Roman number of 350. People roaming in and out, stuff like that. So I just want to say thank you to Jigs and Gigs in Hamilton. What a great show that night. Here's some pictures that were taken. There's Roy on stage. Roy Anthony, our MC, James, he did good. And of course, there's that fat guy there. You know that dude. And so we had a good time. Wanted to make people laugh. It was loud. It was a bar atmosphere. But people had a great time. We conversated, signed autographs. We did all the things that stupid little guys do. The veterans did. Had a great time. Met some new people. Had people come just to see me because they wanted to hear me. I didn't do any of my impressions because it was too loud in there to really get the full effect of the impressions. But I told a lot of great jokes, and every comedian did a great job, and we were so proud of that. And because of that show, tomorrow I got a phone conference with Camp Valor. I don't know if you all are familiar with Camp Valor or not, but they work out of Warrensburg and Independence. So they want to put on a show in either the DAV or the Independence Legion Hall up there.
Right on.
I guess that's a big area. Last time me and Jeff were there, we had 300 and some people plus roving. I mean, they kept coming in and out for the show, and so that was awesome. To our other stuff, here we go. My first time bow hunting. Not a bad looking doe. I hope you don't try to check that in. I don't know if you went to the Ronnie Millsap college for bow hunting or not, but pretty sure you made a mistake. Yeah. Here's a true statement. Back in our day, this meant get your ass home now. Okay. Yeah. This is this next one, Mr. Mandy pointed out, it's not quite accurate. Everybody had pencil like that, but we forgot the ones we had no erasers on them. We had the big fat erasers on them because the eraser was worn down. Time a pencil got that small, you didn't have an eraser. Matter of fact, a lot of times a pencil gets halfway inside of the eraser. Okay.
Yeah, there's not enough teeth marks back there.
No.
Right.
Yeah, that's a stage. That's a stage picture there.
That's a stage picture there.
Yeah. We all remember this one. This look.
What?
When you hear your mom say your full name.
Oh,
I heard other kids do
no.
that. Didn't know what I said. Is that your name? Shh, nobody calls me that. Well, your mama just did. You can't call me that, man. Oh no, it's good enough for mama. Good enough for me. Yeah. Thank you, Paranormal Research. I'm in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for hanging around. Wife's in there laughing. Knock it off. We're live. If I get knocked out here in a minute, you know why. All right. We get on to our video parts here. And I'm not responsible if you guys fall out of your chair, but I ain't apologizing either.
That bat was heading for those kids. The dad reached across. It was going right for the kids, and he saved them. Unbelievable play by that fan right there. It was going right for those two kids. I watched the whole thing. That dad's a hero.
You know, there's people out there making fun of that dad for doing that for his kids. What kind of low-rent communist puke? So what? He's got a beer in his hand and he's chubby. Who gives a rat's ass? That bat didn't want no more, did it?
Yeah. Right. He did the job.
He didn't know. People need to just lighten up about stuff, man.
This guy made $1 million shot, but they didn't want to pay him. When Don Shellhan made the full court shot, the crowd went wild. Even Michael Jordan was thrilled for him, as Don had just earned $1 million. But just as the celebration reached its peak, the insurance company that had promised Don $1 million for making the shot suddenly backed out, refusing to pay even a cent. Because in the contest rules, it was stated that the participant couldn't be a trained professional, and Don had played basketball in college, which technically disqualified him. But this story does have a happy ending. Michael Jordan and the Bulls felt so bad for Don that they, along with a few sponsors, pledged to give him $50,000 every year for the next 20 years.
And that was kind of crap because, you know, they didn't think nobody was going to collect the money. When they did, they didn't want to pay out.
Right.
If that ain't a bunch of bureaucracy right there, I don't know what is.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
When Chuck Norris played Russian roulette, he won. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door with such force that it stays open. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he actually flies. You can't cry in Chuck Norris's presence. It's illegal. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep. He waits. Chuck Norris was the original RoboCop. There is no off switch for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can bench press double his body weight. You never get tired of Chuck Norris jokes because they're always fresh. Chuck Norris can break the laws of physics. Just ask the bullet that went through his head. Chuck Norris once told a girl to calm down, and she did. Ghosts sit around the campfire telling Chuck Norris stories. Chuck Norris can make a fire with 2 ice cubes. Chuck Norris doesn't use the periodic table because he only recognizes the element of surprise. Chuck Norris can parallel park a train. Chuck Norris and Superman once fought. Loser had to wear their underwear on the outside of their clothes.
Chuck Norris can parallel park a train.
Great.
That's funny. Parallel park a train. Man, when he dies, the whole world's gonna be a bunch of calamity. Ender, flags, half mast.
Yeah.
People are gonna be joining dojos all over America. It's just, my goodness.
Oh,
This
Lord
next
have
clip-
mercy.
Yeah, in this next clip, some people got a little bit too much money and too much time. That's all I can say about this next clip.
So apparently some genius thought, why not put a faucet on the exhaust of a motorcycle? Because, you know, when you think exhaust pipe, you immediately think kitchen sink, right? And guess what? It worked in the most ridiculous way possible. A faucet. The thing that should be stuck to your water tank is now proudly screwed onto the back of a motorcycle. And the result? Even people who actually know about mechanics had their jaws on the floor. Want to know why this bizarre idea makes sense somehow? Stick around for the step-by-step.
That's a waste of material. Why? And he put Teflon tape.
Tape on the the exhaust is going to melt.
Banana
off.
leaves.
Yeah. It's probably the heat resistant Teflon tape too.
Probably,
Oh.
yeah. And they vote.
Okay.
Then people like that vote. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Why do Japanese people use chains instead of pipes to drain rainwater? Actually, these are called rain chains, which are quite common in Japanese households. But the question is, why do people choose rain chains over ordinary pipes? The first reason is that rain chains are easier to install than pipes and look more aesthetically pleasing. The second reason is that during rain, water flows down the chains, and the sound and sight of droplets falling are very soothing, so people even use them as garden decorations. The third and most important reason is that rain chains are particularly effective in cold regions. Water in pipes may freeze, causing the pipes to burst, but rain chains do not have this issue. Rainwater flows in an open environment, neither stagnating nor freezing.
That's one of the deals I could care less. You
You
got
know-
gutters on your house to move the water away from the foundation. Nope. I don't care about the soothing.
Do you have any idea how much those chains weigh? We can't even keep gutters on houses around here using regular gutter and nails and
Yeah.
spikes. You can't even keep them. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just.
Japan must have gutter spikes like a railroad spikes or something. I don't know what. Anyway, guys, if you ever want to take your wife out, now it's almost backfired on her, but here's a way that you can take your wife, pick what you want, and let her know that you're not undecided. Okay.
That's
Just
right.
watch this guy.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Guess where I'm taking you to eat tonight? You didn't.
I did.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to the. We're gonna go to the place.
We're going to the place. You know it. Say it.
I didn't even do anything special. It's not my birthday or anything. It's not your birthday or anything.
There doesn't have to be a special occasion for
You
me
just
to.
gonna treat me?
I'm just treating you because I like to feed my girl, right? And I want us to go where you want to go, right? So
I can't. How did you get a reservation? It's so last minute.
I just did. So, I gotta hear you say it. Like, where do you want to go?
Oh my God.
You know the place. For my satisfaction, you know the place.
Okay, we're going to Moose Chris, right?
Yes. We're going
Steak and wine?
steak and wine. That's where we're eating tonight.
Shoot.
Yes.
It's not even
you're
my
excited.
birthday.
It's not your birthday, but I don't need it to be your birthday to go eat. All right.
It's my favorite.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Heath pointed out a while ago that almost got away from him. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost got away from him. But hey, it worked. He pulled it off.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. My wife like, where's I like to go? Because she turned around me. Where do I like to go? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
my dumb ass would say the kitchen. I think I'd have a Wagner mark on my forehead. So yeah, he did good. All right, these last two here are comedy bits. Guys doing it, professional comedians doing a lot of impressions. Let's see what you think of them.
Denzel Washington reporting from a fire.
Yeah, so this is what it's right. Okay, it's fire. It's burning down, huh? Let's burn that fire. Let it burn. How about that, huh? Because we ain't going to put it out, huh? Because if we...
Eddie Murphy at the DMV.
Let me just say something to you right now. I'm sick and tired of waiting. I don't care if it's B5, B6, C11. You better take me next. I'm H14.
Chris Rock reporting about the birth of the royal baby.
I mean, who really cares about this baby? Nobody cares. Hello, we're Americans. Why are we watching this anyway? I mean, Kim Kardashian's baby just got born. We haven't even seen any pictures yet.
Should have done Kevin Hart in a scenario.
Listen, nobody cares about a baby. If it's a baby, it's probably gonna be taller than I am. So forget about it. Everybody, no.
Will Smith doing the local weather forecast.
Yo, so check it out, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? This right here is really hot. And if you like look over here, it's like excessively hot.
No, those are pretty good. Although Will Smith's new movie, it should title it, Big Chief Slap-a-Hoe, because he's playing an Indian in there anyway. He might want to make it more authentic. Just saying. All right, here's the last one.
You coming to the party, Eddie? I said, I don't know. He said, because June and I sure do love you.
Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, what's your motherfucking problem, man? Well, how come you keep fucking with me then, huh? What's all the motherfucking jokes? You don't like my clothes? What's your motherfucking...
Satan is as powerful as God. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world and killing and murder? And he saw my reaction to it, and he kind of lightened up on it.
I would like to talk to some of the people who feel that
Say, man, is Eddie there? Eddie, I'll be in the room. Hey, what's going on, man? He told me to come over.
When I was young and used to watch Gilligan on the side, The Habit, don't... When you were 9, you... But once, but it didn't count because it was... I didn't
Just
know.
roll. But now you're gonna have to roll.
Pretty talent right there. It's pretty good talent.
Yep.
Right, get back to comments real quick. BJ Reed says, guys, I'm bummed the world lost Robert Redford. That's right. Rest in peace, Robert Redford. Great actor and producer. And, he did a lot behind the scenes, too. He was an amazing actor. 100 times more bummed that we lost Charlie Kirk, which we're going to get into a conversation here in a minute. I'm thankful for his message, and that will outlive him. Vincent, friend of the show here. Welcome, Vincent. Thank you. He said, playing it safe. I didn't say. Okay.
Outstanding, Vincent.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's get to our other topic here. And then here's where the conference is about to start out. And let me say this first and foremost. If you're offended by anything you hear, maybe you need to think about you. Okay? Because the world is not nice. The world is how you react to it. Okay? And if you can be one of them people that scream and yell every little thing, does that change anything? No. Your voice is going to get sore and you're going to be out of breath. If you're one of the people that sit back and watch everything and not react to nothing, you're kind of part of the problem too.
Yeah.
In certain areas. Okay. That being said, I invited a couple of my buddies here, and I'm proud to say these two are my friends. We don't hang out and fish, but when we're together, we greet each other and we talk about upcoming things and talk about things in general. And so today, I invited them on the show. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about schools. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk. We're going to talk about people who write history, newspaper reporters, whatever. You guys got a topic you want to talk about, put it in the comments. If we got time to talk about it, if we're smart enough, we'll talk about it, Yeah. We're talking about history, things like that. So coming out of the gate, and Commander, I know you're with me because you and I always talk about things.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the gate, we're going to talk about a little thing that we keep hearing a lot, a law that's supposed to be in the Constitution that's not there. It's called separation of church and state. Now, I challenge anybody right now to go find me in the Constitution where it says those words, separation of church and state. Stop saying it. You sound ignorant. There's no such thing as separation of church and state. Church and state was referring to a letter that one of our presidents wrote talking about we should be one, denomination. Roughly summing it up for you. Okay. We don't all need to be Catholic. We're allowed to be any religion we want to be, right? Without the state, with government interfering. That's it. There's no law separate church and state. You know how ignorant that sounds? Gentlemen, how many times have you heard that stupid statement? Separate church and state. And what do you believe in it?
I believe the same as you do. Thomas Jefferson is the one that wrote that, and he was pointing out that the only limit is on the government selecting one official religion. The government was to stay out of it entirely and allow you and I to make those decisions. But we hear it all the time. We're constantly fighting with the school district. Dan likes to open every time before he addresses the board with prayer, and it riles people up. They say there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. He shouldn't be praying at a school board meeting.
Where?
And you're absolutely right. It's not in the Declaration. It's not in the Constitution, and it's not in the Bill of Rights. Did I say that one?
Yeah,
I may have.
Yeah.
And if there was
the Bill of Rights or the Constitution,
Right.
it's not in any of them.
if there was a such thing as separate church and state, right? Then what's on the back of your money? It says, "In God we trust."
Right.
It's in English, plain words. In God we trust. Okay. So if these guys don't want to honor that, they can just send me their money. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't send it to me. I ain't got a problem saying God we trust on back. Send it all over here. Go ahead. We'll do it. We'll pass around all our friends and people enjoy it. It just my brother's in the house. Hell in the house. Yeah. The only reason they brought it back is not so distant history is it got rid of the prayer, the Bible, and the Pledge of Allegiance in school. It's sadly it worked. Yes, it did, Dean, and it's crap. It's absolute crap. I'm not coming on here today, and neither of my friends on here telling you to go to church and be religious. We want you to be who you want to be. Okay? Because of that, and as well articulated by you, because of that, because somebody be what they want to be and freedom of speech, we lost a gentleman 1 week ago to this day, around 2:30 somewhere on Utah time. Charlie Kirk was shot. And you hear people come, all the time, comparing him to Martin Luther King. They kind of were. Martin Luther King had some behind the scenes that we learned later on, beating the women and things, and he was sleeping with prostitutes and everything like that. But both of them wanted fair act for everybody. Both of them ministers. Both of them had political stances, and both were hated, and both said they were saying hate speech when they wasn't. They wasn't saying hate speech. You just hated what they said.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? What do you guys think? You think first tell us about your feelings with Charlie Kirk thing, and is he our version of Martin Luther King. I don't mean ours isn't white because I'm biracial and you're Commander, you're old, but is he the modern day Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, if you want to talk about a martyr, as a lot of people have put Martin Luther King in that category and others for taking a stand on their religion, their faith, and trying to bring the country together in a peaceful resolution, being able to have debates, talk about things without getting violent. Yeah, I would put Charlie Kirk in the same category as with him, as with Bobby Kennedy, who tried to do the same thing, Malcolm X, the other guy, his name is slipping me. Somebody help me out. He was killed in his driveway in front
Medgar
of his
Evers.
family. Medgar Evers. Thank you very
Medgar.
much. That was hurting my brain there, Richie. That was hurting. Thank you. Yeah, but he never really got off the ground like the others did. So yeah, I think that the big deal with Charlie Kirk is he was turning the way our younger generation in the schools, getting them to think for themselves. And the one thing you'll notice about Charlie Kirk is he never started off talking about religion until somebody else opened the door. When they opened the door, then he talked about it. Until then, he was getting them to think on the LGBTQ stuff, what is a woman, same-sex marriages, all the other stuff that the left has been pushing for a long time. But I think Charlie Kirk is, I believe he is going to be our modern-day martyr. The torch that he was carrying, there's others that are going to pick it up, and they thought they was shutting him up. All they did was open a floodgate they can't close.
Yeah.
That's all they've done. But that's my thought on it. Take it.
You know, and I agree because they were scared of what he stood, not so much what he stood for, but the movement he was involved in.
Exactly.
He was forming young minds, not twisting them like the left does, but forming them. And countering them, educating them with truth and very simple truths. Like there is only one, or two genders. There's, a baby is a baby and not a clump of cells, right? And just all of it. So he was so effective and so persuasive. A lot of people were scared of him, and a lot of folks had a lot to gain by his demise. And thinking that they could squelch the message, but when they squelch the messenger, and little do they realize what like you just mentioned, the fire that they lit in this country. And it's not just Charlie, but primarily Charlie, especially now because he's deceased. But I mean, look, there's a lot of other guys. There's Steven Crowder. Who's the other? Matt Walsh.
Yes, Matt Walsh.
Other conservative voices that do very similar things.
The Hodgkin twins.
Yeah, there you go.
The Hodgkin twins. There's another gentleman. I can't remember his name, but he's a black gentleman, but he's a big guy. He's always on my TikTok, always talking about that. In fact, he was a friend of Charlie Kirk's and promotes him a lot. And there's the Jewish guy,
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, yeah. So
yes.
And then you got a lot of females.
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens is one of them.
Megyn Kelly.
There you go. And Megyn Kelly never liked Trump. If y'all remember, they hated each other.
Oh yeah.
And once they had and she went and actually had to sit down and have a talk with him.
I'm still mad at her about that. Yeah.
And she had to talk with him, and she's come around now to a different way of thinking. Okay, right. Because she went and talked to the source and find out what he's thinking is. Now listen to me. I'm a huge Donald Trump fan, but sometimes I wish he would shut up. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he talks too much about a certain point. We get it. We're not stupid. We get what you're saying. But listen to what he's saying. Okay, because I mean, hey, the man's been right about a lot of things in this country.
Well, it just goes to show you how many followers that Charlie Kirk had, because they were marching in the millions all around the world.
Yes.
All right, say that again.
That with Charlie Kirk, what they don't realize, he had a lot of followers, and even more now, because after he was assassinated, they were following him by the millions in other countries. We're talking Britain, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Africa,
South Korea.
South Korea, yes, everywhere. Not in thousands, in millions.
Yes.
Yeah, they say it's the new shot heard around the world.
But I'll tell you this: it cannot be because of himself personally, right?
No.
It has to be because of his message.
It was the message he was carrying.
Exactly. So why, so I get so mad at our side, right? And I say our side, on the right, because we've been so weak in that area for the longest time. And back to this church and state business. We've let them get away. The left, I say them, us and them, because that's how I feel sometimes. It is an us and them thing.
Right.
But we've let the left get away with that garbage for so long that it seemed like it's become ingrained. Now, you mentioned, separation of church and state, and immediately people jump to that thought. Okay, well, you can't have church or God in school, or you can't have God in government. And it's just completely backwards and wrong, but that's where it comes from. We the right have allowed the left to twist it all up and then to saturate young minds in colleges. So that's why Charlie was so effective, because that was his audience, right? He went to these
exactly,
and ticked a lot of I'm sure ticked a lot of liberal instructors off doing it.
No, he did. Go on Facebook and you could watch for hours the conversations of teachers and professors trying to get him, I got you moment, and they couldn't do it. The problem with a lot of things, Heath, before I get to you, is perceived messages. Okay? You and I could both read the same thing. Both educated men know how to read, and we get two different versions of it. That don't mean we're both wrong. This is how we perceive it. In this country, perceived messages and delusions are the two biggest things. Okay, men, there's two genders, period, in the story. I don't care about cis and all that stupid ass talk. There's two genders, men and women. Men cannot have periods, and for the record, we don't want periods. No, that's a woman thing. I'm sorry, I got that. Take that up with Eve. But whoa, no, we don't want that. So stop saying men can have periods, because they're damn sure don't. No, no.
That all, and don't blame the apple.
That's right. And two, men cannot have babies.
That's right.
Period in the story. Okay. And even though you transition, listen, I'm not telling you to transition. Do what you want. If changing your way once you want to be that way and live with that, fine. If you want to be gay, be gay. If you want to be trans, I don't care. I don't want to hear your delusions. Okay.
Yeah.
Because technically, you transfer from a man to a woman, you're still a man, because you can't scrub that chromosome out of your body. There's no scientific, nowhere can do that. Okay. That still comes from the right of the Almighty. And the Almighty's still the only one, And another thing too, these women get on this kick. We don't need a man. Okay. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not saying it in an offensive way, but women we're better men. There ain't 5 women on the planet that can kick my ass. I'm 53 years old and I limp. You can't. I'm bigger, stronger, and faster. Period in the story. I might be old. You can't do it. There's women that don't want to haul the garbage. There's women that don't want to build houses. There's women that don't want to pour concrete. We are not the same. You give birth, we can't. That ends the debate right there. We are not the same. You give birth, we can't. That debate's over. We're not the same. You can't have a baby without a male. You say, well, I'm going to get a test tube, baby. Still had to come from a male. So you can't make a baby. We can't have a baby. That ends that whole debate right there, but we'll not be the same. You want to go on about the strength and all that stuff, whatever. But that right there should end the debate. We are not the same. And that's okay. That's okay. Women don't want to embrace their role in life, and men don't want to embrace their role in lives. Men want to sit around with ponytails and buns and play video games all damn day long and have the women go out and provide. That's ass backwards to me. Listen, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and all the viewers. I have a phobia. I do not like it when we go out to eat at a restaurant, my wife pays. That burns my ass. Because I believe if I got it, you all got it. It ain't my money. It come from the Almighty. It come from the Great Spirit. So I'm to give it. Okay. But is it wrong for me to feel that way? Because I feel we take care of women. That's the man's job to provide. And I feel paying for a restaurant is providing. Now, I'm not trying to be male chauvinist. I just don't feel that way. Am I wrong? That's a question to you guys.
No, Richie, you're not wrong. The generations today no longer think that way, and I think that's part of the problem. All of the issues that we see in society are a direct result of men no longer being masculine. They've been told you've got to be feminized, you have to be soft. A traditional male figure that you and I believe or how we would define a man is now described by the feminist as being toxic. To open the door for a woman, to show respect for the woman, to want to protect a woman, they call toxic and is somehow a bad thing.
It's one of these, careful what you say, ladies. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's turn the table. Men can't survive without women. We can't do
that's
it.
Right.
Most of our thinking is feed us, love us, and leave us alone. Okay. Without a woman around, a couple of those things ain't going to happen. And I'm not being male chauvinist. In my house, my wife does the cooking because if we cooked, well,
yeah,
we look like a couple of Ethiopians up in here.
I wouldn't have that if I was doing all the cooking.
You know,
But
I mean, come on.
Not only though, you mean you're right, and I agree that not only we each have our roles, men and women, but it's biblical. I mean, and again, it's you cannot deny the history of the role of the family, like the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Right? It was no just Mary and Jesus, and there was no just Joseph and Jesus. Right? It was the Holy Family. And so
let's go back further than that, Dan. Let's go back further than that. What did we start off with? We start off with Adam and Eve.
Very good, very good.
Now, some scriptures say, and some people believe there was Lilith. Lilith was the first woman, and then it made Eve. Whatever. It's still principle of man and a woman. Okay. Right. I'm not picking on gays when I say that, but we're designed to live with each other. We're designed to work as a team. Okay. Sure. A lot of people don't know what that is. Team. It's people get together and they make a plan. They do things together.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Some people don't know.
Jumping back to the question you asked about buying the
right. Go ahead.
You take your wife out for dinner.
Right.
Okay. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. When we first got married, she worked for about 5 years. Then Julie came along. Okay. She wanted to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom. I said, you know what? God ordained that man and woman, child, family, right there, the man supports the family. I said, you stay home, raise the baby, do your nurturing that a mom does. I'll go out. God will provide so that I will be able to make up your income so that you'll be able to stay home and fulfill God's plan. And it's been that way ever since. I work, I bring the money home. She takes care of the home. She pays the bills. She lets me know what has to be paid and how much is being paid, not because I don't trust her, but because we're a team. And she lets me know what's going on. Because if something happens to her, I got to know what's going on. Same way with me. If something happens to me, she's got to know what's going on. I always tell her what future jobs I have, who out there still owes me for jobs that I've completed. I bring the money home. She puts it in the bank. Bills are paid. We go out to eat. There's been times when I didn't have enough cash in my wallet. Mama pulls out the bank card. We got the money. Okay. It's teamwork. Husband and wives work together to make the family wheels move without a gear in the teeth and the gear getting broken off and throwing the timing out.
Right.
We don't have that no more. You don't hardly see that anymore. And I don't know. It's got to come back somehow or another. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Well, I was, I thank my wife. I was appreciative that she was able to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
It just burns me because that's supposed to be, I don't know, maybe some people think it's arrogance. I don't think it's arrogance, but if I'm the top of the family, I should be doing top of the family stuff.
Right.
Paying, protecting, mowing the damn yard, whatever. Just doing whatever the protector and the top man's supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong. My wife wants to pay. My wife can pay. It's just something I do with internally. Okay?
Right. Well, my rule has always been God first. Then I thank him for my job that I have.
Right.
Because without my job, I can't take care of family.
Right.
So it's God, work, family, in that order. And I'm just saying.
Right.
I just,
Well, I thank you guys for that. That's.
Yeah.
I'm glad that other people, feel the same way as me, gentlemen. I've been keeping an eye on U2's plight.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know any better word than that because that's what it seems like it's been going through. First of all, you ought to be commend both of you two for your patience and your loyalty. All right. So you have our on that. But now you know where we're going with this deal. We're already prepared. We're coming. You guys have made you guys have made strides and you're now winning. Okay. And people retiring, people resigning. And, tell us about the book situation in Cameron without going too far back in history. But now the process is going on. I understand that is it the superintendent who's retiring now all of a sudden out of the blue? And now the books are leaving the school all of a sudden when they seemed they couldn't do it. Now books are seem to be leaving school. Fill us in, please.
After you, sir.
Well, they're kind of doing it in a manner that I think is going to get them in trouble with organizations like the ACLU, but they are going back and they're pulling books out. And for those that aren't aware, we're talking graphic, adult, sexually explicit content. We're not talking a reference to a sex act. We're talking descriptions of sex acts. And some of these are abhorrent. Some of these are like, there's a lot. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of incest that is in these books that they're given to the kids. And I know grown women that they can't listen to just the description of what is in these books when we're describing what is in them. How they think that these kids are not affected by these graphic descriptions of incest and rape. And
what people fail to understand, Heath, and they really do, is this is one of the most devastating things on society because not only does it hurt one generation, this hurts many generations.
Right.
Okay. I'm a victim of it. I'm not ashamed to say it. It took me a long time for to admit it, but I'm a victim of child rape and molestation and stuff. Okay. I grew up big and strong, so nobody gonna do that to me again. Okay. But my kids, okay, I had to live with this stigma that a big percentage of people that were molested molest. Okay, I never did that, never picked up that thing, never wanted to. But that's a stigma I had to live with. My kids, I wouldn't give them a bath at a certain age. I absolutely would not give them a bath at a certain age. I didn't want the stigma. I didn't want anything about it. It brought back memories. My grandkids, I wouldn't give them a bath. Little bitty kids, I still wouldn't do it. And I'm damn sure they get past a certain age, I don't even go to the bathroom when they're in there. Okay. And if I do walk in on my daughter or son, I'm apologizing over my damn self, tripping, falling, trying to get out of the place. Okay. They got to live with the stigma of their dad was like that. And they asked my grandkids, how come Papa didn't give us a bath? He don't like us? Then they got to go with that stigma and explain why I did. So what you're doing and the reason you do it saves a lot of lives. People commit suicide over this very thing. It's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest suicides because they don't know how to talk about it. Okay. Right. And so I thank you for that. Me being a victim, I ain't got a problem with you doing it. My problem is, why are these people pushing against it? Maybe they need to investigate their homes. Maybe they're putting peckers into kids and they shouldn't be. And maybe they're programming them to do something they're not supposed to do. Because that's sure the hell what it seems like to me as a victim.
Yeah. Richie,
because around my house, when I was a little kid, my stepdad would watch pornographic material on the main TV And back in that, we didn't have a lot of TVs. We had one TV, and that's what we all watched. Okay, us kids are running inside, do something. He'd have porn on during the day. That was desensitized. That was commonplace. Okay, that is no way. You shouldn't do that. There's laws for that. Okay, but trying to get brothers and sisters to have sex with one another, that is filthy. That is disgusting. Kids don't need to learn. Look, kids today can't even hardly read and write. We got a bunch of idiots, a bunch of dumbasses. Okay. And piece of evidence is when I was growing up, you didn't make a whole lot of construction. You used your brain, you made more money. That's turned now. Construction people are making a lot of money doing construction. People with the brain not making so much because people are lazy. People are lazy.
Right.
People can't fix their own cars now. They need to bring shop and home ec back to schools. Period. Instead of bringing these nasty books in, then why won't you bring in a drill and show somebody how to use the damn thing, or show a male what a frying pan is so he can fry his ass a damn egg so he can live. Okay, but no, they want to do it the other way. And so, man, I didn't want to interrupt you. I know you're on the floor, but I just wanted to what you're doing, man, it really hits. And if people are not behind them, we need to look at them. We need to start going in there and see what's going on in their house.
Richie, we have people when we find these books, I will sit down in front of a microphone and I read the content that is in the books that they're giving to the kids. And I share it out with the community so they can hear what's in these books. And almost every time that I post one of these videos, I have somebody who comments and say, why is it you are so fascinated with children and sex? Are you a child pedophile? Every time. The guy that is advocating to remove the content, adult content, from being exposed to kids, they're accusing me of being the pedophile. It's
I've seen some of that, and I just want to get on there and say, well, what are you hiding? What are you covering up?
Heath, when they're doing that, they're judging you by their standards.
Right.
Can I just say that? When people are talking like that, they're judging you by their standards. Doesn't warrant even a comment or to be acknowledged.
Yes.
Honestly.
Well, yes and no. I'm a firm believer of nip shit in the bud. Okay? When you're wanting a tree to grow and plant to grow, all the suckers come off her, you get rid of them. You want that thing to grow a certain way, you groom it to grow that way. I believe in nipping things in the ass because, quite frankly, if you don't, you get Charlie Kirked. Because no one nipped us in the ass. They let it go. Oh, we'll pray for you. We'll do this, we'll do that. Instead of putting a boot in his ass. Okay? He did it. And you listen, you can say a gay man shot Charlie Kirk and not be wrong. Haters must say, I'm hating. I ain't hating. I ain't hating at all. He's gay. He's a gay man. He shot Charlie Kirk. Those are facts. You get mad at facts, pull your lip over your head and swallow. I can fight. So, I mean, let's go. We'll go scratch some gravel. I don't care. Stop getting mad over facts. Look at your own life, right? And now, Heath, that's what you did. And don't worry about them idiots, because you guys are winning. You guys are winning.
You want to tell them what we learned today?
Took a while. Took a while. I learned today that Matt Robinson is resigning his post, but effective end of June, I think, next year, June of 26, which the announcement came today, but effective June 2026.
Is that right? Well,
and no reason listed. It was on the school's website. There it is, right there. Yeah. So no reason that I know of yet. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of circulating, but anyway, yeah, just maybe he's moving on to greener pastures. Who knows?
And you know what? We here at Kings Court, I wish him the best of luck wherever he's at. I don't want to see a man not work. I don't want to see a man not feed his family. I'm not a guy that wants to ban things. I've never been a ban guy. You got choices. If you don't want to see two guys kiss on a movie, turn the damn channel.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it banned. I don't care to watch it. If you want to watch it, great. I don't want to ban it because then I'm dictating to you what you can watch, and I don't have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I never liked the pit bull bans. the pit bull ban slogan was that keep dogs from biting. Well, guess what? The pit bulls wasn't the only dogs biting. As a matter of fact, the poodle was the meanest dog on the planet for a long time. German shepherds bite more than anything else.
Yeah.
Nobody's banning them. So you guys are winning. The superintendent's moving on. Books are coming out of school. Heath, you talked about that a while ago. Tell us more about why these books are coming out of school now all of a sudden.
You know, we don't know the answer to that because these book committees that they form to look at the books, of course, they meet in secret and they don't keep records and they refuse to tell us. But the decision is that the school district is going to keep them. And after they announce to the public that they're removing the books, or excuse me, that they're not going to remove the books, they're going to keep them. When everything's quiet, they're secretly going back and pulling the books and getting rid of them. And some of the books that they're getting rid of and making disappear are books that have photographs, which we believe violate Missouri statute. So they've got sexual organs that they're showing, and it's a clear violation of the law. The school sat on it for a year and a half, pretending that they weren't there, and then they just started to be disappeared. The school has its own police department. They don't have a local law enforcement agency that provides SROs. We told the school, the superintendent is the chief of police for the school district police department. We told them that their books violate the law and they refused to write a report. They wouldn't investigate themselves. And of course, nobody wants to do the investigation because the school district is one of the biggest employers in town. And there are multiple cops that work for the city that their spouses are employed by the school district. So nobody wanted to write the report. They just ignored the problem for a year and a half. And then under the table, they're trying to get rid of the books and they think that we're not going to see it.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, the main librarian who's causing a lot of this trouble, the high school librarian, her husband is the acting police chief right now for Cameron Police Department. So to go after the librarian and try to hold her accountable is going to be hard to do because nobody in the district would want to, go along with that. The politics in all this, we didn't realize this going into it. It's incredible. I mean, it's just, and if this is how dirty and how muddy the water is in our school district, imagine what it is at a state politician level or a federal politician level. It's incredible. But it's a mess. The whole thing's corrupt. And so we'll welcome Robinson's departure. Wish it was sooner, but hey, we'll take 26 and maybe the next one coming in NC will clean house. I mean, that's our hope. We'll work with whoever that person is, and hopefully they'll obey the law and do what's right.
Right. If you're not going to obey the law, why do we have all these restrictions on what people can do at what ages? Why don't we just throw them all out? Let everybody drink, let everybody hump till they're blind, let everybody shoot till they're, shoot their little hearts out. Let them smoke when they're not supposed to be smoking. Why don't we just let them do all kind of stuff? Because we're not, because we're supposed to be a civilized society. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I know and this is where we're going to start getting controversial here, but sometimes I do that. Where were the churches at in this?
Oh my gosh.
It seemed to me like the local churches don't want to affect their tithing. They don't lose money on their offering plate. And if that's the case, they don't need those people anyway, because those people ain't taking up for the Lord, for their message they're talking about. They can go spend the money somewhere else. Okay.
Right.
But where were the churches in this deal?
AWOL. Yeah.
Yeah. Crickets. That's what you heard. Crickets.
Yeah, and it's not that
One
they
church.
didn't, right. Except for
one church.
Except for one. Yeah. Passion Church.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But they were all the pastors of the big churches, right? The main churches in Cameron were notified. They have an alliance, right? A ministerial alliance. They were approached by different people on numerous occasions, trying to invite them into the district, to see what's going on, inviting them to school board meetings, inviting them. We had a book reading event at the library one time that we sponsored, inviting the public to read wholesome books and giving some instruction on how to find the bad ones in the library. We're trying to educate the public on this. Anyway, they weren't interested. The pastors weren't interested. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it all boils down to the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, gentlemen, they didn't want to make anybody mad for whatever reason, because a lot of those board members attended those certain specific churches.
Yes.
And the pastors did not come and create waves because they didn't want to ruffle the feathers of some of their parishioners. You know what? Shame on the pastors for not doing that. And I'll probably get some of them mad at me. It's not their job to shame anybody. It's their job to preach the gospel and let the Holy Spirit walk on the toes.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something. If you go to church, if you go there and the Holy Spirit hasn't walked on your toes, you ain't been to church, because he ain't preaching the message. You should be getting your toes walked on, every one of us, every Sunday.
You know, there's a Reverend, we all probably know, he's a Reverend at Lake Viking Church, Pastor Nelson.
Yes.
Now, I respect that guy to death. He came see me in a time of need. I'm not one of his people to go attend his church. I'm a different. My religion's different. But he still came anyway and talked, and I still see him, man. We shake hands, we have a pleasant conversation every time I see him. And I don't want to throw him under the bus, but did you guys reach out to Pastor Nelson? Because he seems like a guy that's got his head on straight.
He came and supported us, even though he's not in Cameron. He did come and support us.
Excellent.
Who's the pastor here in Kidder?
Yeah, forgive me for not remembering his name, but the pastor at the Kidder Baptist Church also came and supported us several times at school board functions.
Okay.
Yeah, they got the bus together, and they loaded people on the bus. They weren't allowed to speak, but they were there sitting and supporting us while we were fighting with the books. We had more fighting from people outside of Cameron than we did in.
And, you know, I'm going to say this, and Cameron can get pissed off all they want to. I talked to the Honorable Becky, the Mayor Becky over there, and I told her the same thing, and she kind of got a little ruffled with me, but not really, because I'm an entertainer. I travel all over the United States. I travel all over the state of Missouri a lot. And every time I go to somewhere, and it's usually surrounding, like Excelsior Springs, Stewartsville, some little town like that's around Cameron, I hear the exact same damn thing. They say, how's it going in Cameron? I said, well, I don't do many shows there. I can't really get nobody to come. They said, that's because Camerons don't support their own. I said, well, they have turnouts for car shows. They said, look, you can give Cameron construction paper and a crayon, and they couldn't draw a buck. And other towns around know that, okay? Know that. We take a comedy show, we go into Gallatin, Missouri, pack it to the Raptors. The fire marshals are running people out of there, standing room only, right? Jamesport, Trenton, where all these little towns, right, come out and support. But not in Cameron, not where my office is based out of. You know, for comedy vets, that's weird. You know, and people are like, well, you ain't advertising right. But then you get to ask them, nobody ever reads the newspaper. Nobody ever sees Facebook, which is a big fat lie. Okay. Yeah. No one ever listens to the radio. No one hears commercials. Really? Kiss my ass. Okay. You stop talking because it makes no sense. So it doesn't surprise me what you just said about Cameron not coming together with churches. But I think, Heath, the chickens are starting to roost, Bobby Boucher. I think they're coming home. I think something's happening.
I sure hope so.
I think you said off air a while ago that 54,000 new followers or something for Charlie Kirk around the country and everything like that. I think Cameron is starting to realize the same damn thing. Am I wrong?
No. Yeah, it was 54,000 new applications for Turning Point USA chapters in public schools and colleges in the United States. And I think that the number before Charlie was killed was they had about 1,000 nationwide.
Okay.
They've received 54,000 requests to have chapters since he died.
Yeah, excellent. Now, I know we're past 8 o'clock, and we're going to keep going on here because we're having a conversation. Me and some friends of ours, friends of the show, Dan Landy and Heath Gilbert. So we're going to continue on. So if you're thinking 8 o'clock we're over, hang with us. We're not done yet. Now, we talked a little bit about the Bible a while ago and things. I've got a beef, okay? And you guys can, you guys are smarter in the Bible than I am. I don't even claim to be that brilliant with the Bible, but I don't believe the Bible is true and accurate. I believe the Bible contradicts itself. I believe the Bible was written by men who want to put the thumb on you to tell you couldn't do certain things in that time area. Because I don't think there's people that have died, well, medically have died and came back to life, and said they see things that don't match up with the Bible. The Bible's contradict themselves, like baptism, for example. They say, you should be baptized, and say you shouldn't be. Okay. Also, I remember there's a passage in there somewhere where it says Lazarus, I think, or somebody said they talked to God and seen God. But then there's another part of the Bible where Jesus said, no man has ever seen God. Okay. So I think there's some controversies there. And I know it's a great guide. It's good to start basing some more life off of. But my thing is, people take this Bible and they turn it around. They cherry pick. They take it out of context. How I feel is how I feel. I'm gonna throw it at your feet. What do you guys think about what I just said?
Richard, you kind of touched on this earlier, and I forget exactly what the topic was. But if you and I are standing on a street corner, and there's a car that runs a red light, and it T-bones another vehicle, if we turned our back to it, I would tell you that it was a red Nissan that hit a Toyota truck, and that Toyota truck was 2 doors and was white. Mm-hmm. And you're going to say, well, no, it was a green Nissan and it was a 4-door Toyota, but it was white. You and I both saw the same thing, but our recollection and our understanding is a little bit different. And I believe that is what we're seeing in the Bible, because the stories about the resurrection of Jesus, for example, none of them differ in that Jesus came back to life on the 3rd day, but the details in and around it, there's a little bit of variation, because I believe the perception of the people, they're depending upon their human understanding to retell those events. And I think that is why there's a little disparity in the Bible.
Okay. I agree. And remember, and the Bible's not complete. There's so much that happened, right, in history that's not recorded in the Bible.
Right.
And so to say that it's wrong, I kind of disagree with that. But,
okay.
And again, that's based on perception. So,
right.
and that's why there's so many different religions, right? Because
right.
people over time have gotten different things from different, kind of interpreted their own way and decided to go a different route. So,
and
I personally believe in it. Believe it's the truth.
Okay.
But it's not. It's not everything. It's not,
right.
Jesus' every word, his every move, his every action is not recorded.
No, it's right. There's 23 years.
So it's incomplete if you're talking, and the same thing with Moses and all the prophets.
Right.
All of them. So, it's just a highlighted portions. And you might say they were cherry picked, but it's just, it's the highlights. It's like watching a reel of a sporting event, in a 15-minute, reel versus a 3-hour football game, and you're just getting the highlights, and you get to the same outcome though.
Right. Listen,
that's how I kind of get it.
You know what? That's the way you guys see it. Those are very good points. I also think of it this way. Okay. Most of us have seen the movie Tombstone. Okay, and it's movie belief. It's everybody's belief that Doc Holliday killed Johnny Ringo, but history does not support that. Okay, they say either Wyatt Earp did it, or they mentioned some other name. I forget. I apologize. I forgot the guy's name, and I'm a huge history buff. Love it. Forgot his name, but they said he killed him, and had witnesses that said different people killed him. And then there's a theory about Doc Holliday killing him. And then there's a theory that he killed himself, Johnny Ringo, committed suicide. Okay, so what I'm getting to that is, you got people who write things in history that can't keep their opinions out. People write newspaper articles, I can't remember. Now this is leading me down a path here, and I'm trying to tiptoe this and be polite when I say this. But there's somebody, I don't know if it's Vincent or one of you guys, that sent me something about guys was accused of not reporting something who listened to YouTube or however that went. I'm not quite sure. I didn't quite understand what I was reading it at the time because it jumped around on me, kind of like me talking, jumped around. Tell us about this. What is this thing? And this new newspaper guy that is in Cameron, is he good? Is he reporting the facts? What's going on? What's not going on?
Go ahead.
He is much better than the last knucklehead that we had. Jimmy Cox was just as corrupt and one-sided in his reporting as could be. And for example, when I sued the school district for violating my First Amendment rights, he refused to print it in the paper.
Okay, so that's what they're talking about then. They were after you, and he didn't report that, right? That they're after you?
He only printed things that were favorable, reflected well upon the school district.
Okay.
That was typically going after me or going after Dan. If you submitted, and we submitted letters to the editor trying to defend ourselves, or we had people that wrote on our behalf, they refused to publish them. The only thing that was printed while Jimmy was there was the one-sided nonsense. The new guy, he is far more objective, but somebody in Cameron, whoever this puppet master is, he's on the record. He's admitted that the paper received some type of a threat saying, look, if you continue to publish these stories about the school district, we're going to pull all of our advertising dollars.
Okay. So now you tied it in for me. Now I'm understanding more. I thought the way it was written initially when I read it, that they were taking stuff off you guys as experts, excerpts, whatever you're writing on the camera form, and they were all against you guys. He's getting accused of reporting to the school whether they like it or not. Apparently, now they don't want the facts out. This guy's trying to put the facts back to school. Okay, it really has nothing to do with you guys. You guys are just being brought into it again because somebody's got a hard on for you, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And he did not make the decision. He was told you are no longer allowed to write stories about the school district unless it is something new. When it comes to the book issue, he was told to leave it completely alone.
Is that not the definition of blackmail?
Yeah. No, that's the definition of law. That's the definition of corruption.
So much for the freedom of press.
Right.
Well, the freedom of press, that ain't been free for a long time. I mean, look at CNN. Look at MSBC or dumbasses or whatever they call themselves, Fox News. None of them, they all can report the same damn thing and give you a different opinion about it.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
I think that's an area in this country that needs to be cleaned up. They need to make laws where these guys are lying. If you report something and you ain't got truths, then you should be held accountable for reporting something that's not right.
Well, that's what they're doing to Jimmy Kimmel right now for spouting off on his
Is that
nighttime
right?
show. Yeah, I was reading that on the news outlet here just before we started, that they're going after him for it. And Disney's already pulled all their crap with him and other stuff, and he's pretty much shut down.
Was he bad-mouthing Charlie Kirk? I didn't understand.
He was saying a bunch of false things about Charlie Kirk that was not true, and that it was all MAGA people, right-wingers that did him in when it wasn't, and saying a bunch of things that were not truthful. Okay.
Now here's the crazy part about that. Here's the crazy part about that. Okay, why is the network punishing him? They agree with him.
They're the ones that put him up to doing it.
Right. Yeah, they're punishing him. They're punishing him because it's not popular. See, if he stated something that was popular, even if it was wrong or immoral or whatever, they would still support it. You see, they're playing the winner. You know, they want to be on the networks and so on. And these media outlets.
They're all walking both sides of the fence, and all they're going to get is a big wedgie. They're just going to get a wedgie. That's it.
I appreciate you clearing that up because I wasn't quite sure. Because you start reading that, and then they bring you guys involved in it. I'm thinking, what the hell has this got to do with these two guys? But now you cleared up what they were saying. He was actually trying to do his job, and somebody got mad about him doing his job. Okay, that'd be like in a nursing home, lady gets paid to wipe your butt, and she's complaining about wiping butts. I ain't wiping no more butts. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So get to wiping.
Well, and that is the fundamental objective of a news outlet, right? I mean, especially a hometown newspaper.
Right.
I mean, that is your mission. Is to report the news objectively, and the chips fall where they may. I mean, if it's something embarrassing or something, whatever. But still, if you take your job seriously as a newsman or woman, I have to be correct. Then you have to be objective, and objectivity is something we haven't experienced in Cameron with Jimmy Potts, we didn't have it at all.
Right.
No, not at all.
And we got. We had such high hopes for this one, but I still have high hopes. And look, and not to completely smear the guy, I like him. He is a nice guy.
Yes.
We've sat down in his office, we've talked on several occasions, and I really think he cares. But I think, but the same as like some of these school people, I think they care, but they're just too afraid to buck the system.
Well, I got news for you guys. I'll be around long enough to watch him pedal his butt out of this town on a bicycle like Jimmy Potts did, because he did not do me any good in his writings over the 4th of July where we held that at, and all the garbage that went on in the paper and on social media. So I don't give a tinker's rat about him. I want nothing to do with him. Slam the American Legion and the VFW. Am I lying? Am I there, Richie? Telling the truth.
Hang on just a second. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you did.
You guys go sit in his office all you want to. More power to you. Not me. Not me.
Wow.
Well, the last guy, he whose name should not be mentioned. What is he, like Voldemort? Mr. Potts, because I'll give respect, Mr. Potts. That's all I'm required to do, right? Mr. Potts promised me a few things on the Comedy Vets end, okay, and that never happened. He said if I would give him an interview, and I did. I brought him in the studio when we was over at the old school over there, and he was going to guarantee me 250 people coming to my show. Okay. And plus advertising. Okay. Well, the advertising never came about. We put this show on, okay. All they did was give me an article in the paper. All right, he didn't put anything in there that him and I talked about. Come time, no one showed up for the show.
Oh,
so he decided he'd go live, like make it up to me, go live, give a free comedy show. Okay, I'm at the spot right here. I had to make a decision, kind of put me on the spot. I could have said no and sent everybody home, but the comedians were already there. Okay. So we went ahead and gave a free damn comedy show, which is not what was supposed to be, because we rely on donations like everybody else. Okay, and for the record, I'm not pocketing any of that money. I've heard that being said, but only a few people have ever said it. But I'm not pocketing any money from any of this stuff. This stuff every penny can be accounted for. I mean, people are like, what are you doing with all the thousands? Well, first of all, who the hell said I'm getting thousands of dollars? Where's that at? Because I'm missing that money. I need the thousands of dollars I'm supposed to get. Right. Yeah. And so. Mr. Potts was doing that, so I quit advertising. In their little handout they had about Comedy Vets, we gave our little logo and all that stuff, and I quit doing that. But what I didn't quit doing is trying to be there for the veterans. Okay, and so Mr. Potts, and I wish him well wherever he is. Okay.
Kansas.
Well, I will tell you this much: the editor of the Citizen Observer did in the paper that came out, to give credit where credit is due, okay, did write a little tiny article in there saying that we did have a wonderful, nice little celebration for the 4th of July, recognizing our vets. I will give him credit for that.
That was, and I cut out that article because I was one of the guys that got recognized. I cut that out, and it was well written, to the point, and he didn't babble on. And listen, I appreciate that. I was honored to be recognized anyway. I don't do it for recognition, but I was honored to be doing it by my peers. And I'm glad he's out there. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up, because that was something I was reading before the show, and I'm thinking, I'm not quite understanding. Is he in the fold, or is he not in the fold? Who's this other loudmouth jerk? Always want to run his suckhole. Okay, and so you guys cleared that up, and appreciate it a great deal on that. So we covered a lot of things, and you guys have been here and putting your things out there like that. What are you guys expecting now for the book thing? Let's kind of put a bow on this deal. What are you guys expecting to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What should happen? Whatever.
Well, now there's two different answers there, two different questions. Yeah. What we expect and what we think is going to happen is two different things, I guess. Right. But going forward from here, it's really, the progress we've made has been so incremental and so slow that, it's at a snail's pace, really. But nonetheless, it's progress. And so we're thankful for that much. We're going to continue to apply pressure, right, on the school district by attending school board meetings, right, about vocalizing our concerns, about, we're definitely going to continue the search for dirty books in school. All right. It can all be done online on the computer from my home. I can tap into I shouldn't say it like that. Then I'll be investigated for wiretap.
Hold on a second. Hold on, Matt. Dan Bandino online for you.
Yeah. That's Cash Patel. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah, Cash Patel.
But we can access the school's library online. Anyone can. Yeah, it's a public access. And so we will continue to look for and find dirty books, and we will challenge them. There's a process that that we go through, and so it's business as usual. We're just more of the same. We're just not going to let up. And I never thought that it would be this hard, that it would take this long, that the district in general would be so resistant to doing what I thought was the right thing to do, and that's remove the darn books. They shouldn't be there in the first place. And so I just didn't think it would be that tough, but it has been that tough. And so we've had to toughen up, and that's why, we grew some thick skin fast, because you can't allow things to get to you, personal slurs or attacks, even now, now we're banned from even attending school board meetings because if they don't like the message, they're going to shoot the messenger. Figuratively speaking, they shot us by not allowing us to attend school board meetings.
Yeah, by banning you.
Yeah. So it's more of those games that they like to play, but we're wise to it, right? We can and we can deal with it, right? It's like a job. I had this conversation with my wife earlier because she was kind of annoyed with me because I devote so much attention and time to this stuff. When I should be doing chores or other things, right?
Right.
I said, I said, yes, I'm retired, but thank God I'm retired because now this is my job. I'm a watchdog. And so anyway, so that's how I look at it. And
nice.
And I'm just happy to be in the fight. I'm glad that the Lord blessed me with this, because I'll tell you why. I wasn't looking for this fight 3 years ago when I got into it. It came to me. It just kind of found me. I fell into it, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And Heath and I met through Vincent, right, a mutual friend, and we all three just kind of fell into this. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that we're all three retired. So it's a perfect fit. And I think the good Lord was using us to do some good in the school district. I really do.
Now, I've seen Vincent, and again, he's a friend of the show, and I talk to Vincent every once in a while, make him laugh, tell him some jokes and stuff. He really appreciates it. But he put something up here, and I want you to explain this. I read this earlier, Heath. I guess you won a lawsuit. Is that how I'm supposed to read this? You won a lawsuit, or you lost a lawsuit? And what was it about?
We reached a settlement agreement, and the school district had to pay all of my attorney fees.
Okay, for what? Give us a little backstory on that.
They violated my First Amendment right.
Okay.
And that we went to them initially through an attorney with a demand letter saying, if you apologize to Mr. Gilbert and you change these policies, we won't file this lawsuit. Mm-hmm. And we gave him a copy of what that lawsuit looked like. The superintendent, I don't think he even took it to the Board of Education. He just said, no, I'm not going to do that. So we filed in a federal court. And at the end of that, they had to pay $17,000 in attorney fees. Well, the newspaper in his writings has said, take that money that you received and file more complaints. I didn't get a penny in that settlement. Everything was the attorneys. I didn't ask for anything. I asked for policies to be changed and my attorney fees. That's all that I got. I got policies changed.
They did change some policies.
Yes.
And your lawyers got paid, so you didn't gain anything and you didn't lose any money for the suit, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I was made whole.
Well, wow. Well, you know what? The fact that you didn't ask for any money ought to show people where your loyalties lie right there. This ain't a power play for Heath Gilbert.
Right.
Heath Gilbert give a shit about Heath Gilbert. Gilbert is trying to, make and it's such a good cause. I mean, it really is. Says especially when I'm in a dismal moment. But brother, that's my calling. My job was either beat people up, make them laugh, and the judge told me to stick with making people laugh because it'll save me money. So,
right.
And he so far the judge has been right about that specific information. Thank you, Judge. Although some of the things I had to do for the court, I ain't gonna name his name, but yeah, I mean, well, you're welcome, Vince. I've heard a lot of people slam Vince. Vince is one of the most maligned guys. I mean, I hear stories about Vince, all kind of things. And listen, I met Vince at a comedy show one time. He came in with a dog on one hand and a gun on his hip. Okay. And there's a lot of things I don't care about because being a veteran and commander's the same way. He can testify this. And one of you guys might be veterans, I don't know. But I fought for their right. I fought for the right to do it. I fought for people's right to not like it. What I didn't fight for is right for you to shoot somebody because you don't like it. You don't like what they said, even though he was right. And I challenge people to say, well, Charlie Kirk was racist. Show me where Charlie Kirk was racist.
He wasn't.
I can show you where Martin Luther King, and I respect Martin Luther King. He did a lot because there's a lot of white folks that got things, privileges now that he ensured. But behind the scenes, and I posted something on my Facebook, go look at it. I get, he was a woman beater, womanizer.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of had some foul tendencies to him. But overall, did he fight for freedom and stuff? He absolutely did. Okay. So just saying. I'm just saying, Charlie Kirk, and people hated him. People thought that because what he was doing, they hated him just like they did Charlie Gilbert. No reason to hate the guy. People hate me. I really don't care. I don't bother nobody unless I got to call you out on something. So if you hate me because I called you out, it's your fault, not mine.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
This is Vince Cummings said Mr. Gilbert did lose sleep, aggravation, frustration, mind, heart pain too often. Vincent, and we all fought for the Constitution. We do, and I know it's getting kind of late, but the Constitution says certain things, and people misalign what that says. We touched on a while ago, separate church and state. There's nothing in there about that. One thing I want to say about the Constitution before we get out of here, stop saying we are democratic.
Right.
We are a republic.
Yep.
For one republic for which it stands under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep.
I don't know how clear that's in English. I don't know how clear English that's got to be. We are a republic. Okay. My grandkids, when they say something, well, I vote, we're all democracy, so majority rules. I say, majority may rule, but we're not a democracy. That's a republic thought. That's not a democratic thought. Democrats don't want nobody, they don't want nobody talking. They want everybody hating each other. And guys, I hope I didn't bore you all today. You guys are great men. I enjoy the veterans breakfast that we have up there together. We can talk about things. I know there's people in that room that don't like you guys. I've seen some of their comments on Facebook, didn't they? Yeah. They want to come in with all smiles. So your enemies come with smiles, guys. Your enemies come looking like you and me. The greatest trick the devil ever convinced is to prove he doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yep. I wanted to
Yeah,
be
there
at the
ain't no
breakfast
such thing as
last night.
God. And you also get these idiots that believe in God, don't believe, or believe in the devil, and don't believe in God. You cannot. It's impossible to believe in the devil and not know there's God, because God made the devil.
You can't
Okay?
have one without the other.
You absolutely cannot. And when I worked at the prison over there as a prison guard with Cameron, I had this devil worshiper. Okay. Now he's an educated man. He wasn't stupid, but this guy was telling him, and he come up and said, "Look, you young punk, shut the hell up." He said, "What do you mean you're a devil worshiper?" He goes, "Oh, I worship the devil, but I know more about the Bible than you know." He said, "There ain't no such thing as God." He goes, "You idiot. You can't have the devil without God. God made the devil." Well, no, he didn't. He goes, "Well, you need to stand on something. If you're going to do some research, do it right. God made the angels. That's what the devil was. Just an angel. I don't know how much clearer it's got to be." So you get these people like, "Well, ain't no such thing as God, but I believe in the devil." Yeah, okay. You need to turn over your voting pass and stop driving. Okay? And one of the last topics we're going to hit on real quick, you hear people, gun issue. This is a hot topic in this country. And it came back now with the untimely death of Charlie Kirk. We're talking about guns. First of all, that's not an AR-15. Okay, that's a gun he stole from his grandpa. He stole that gun, by the way, out of his grandpa's collection. It's a 30-06 bolt action. First of all, people are like, he hid that in his bag. He can't break a bolt action down.
I'm glad
if
you
it's broken
brought that
down,
up.
it's broke.
Because
Okay?
they've been talking about something that made absolutely no sense to this gun owner. Okay?
No.
Something that didn't make any sense on this bolt action rifle.
Yeah,
They
you're not
called
breaking it down.
They called it a K98 bolt action 30-06. K98 is a German Mauser. That's 8mm.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I'm just saying. Okay. Just saying. The Spanish Mauser can be bored out to a 30-06, but I don't know if a K98 can.
Well, not only that, but you can't break a bolt action down. If you break a bolt action down, it's broke.
It's broke.
You need to fix it.
You can take the bolt out, but
you cannot
I don't know.
break it.
There was just something about that just hasn't. I've been
Well, this whole
about
thing-
that ever since I heard that.
This whole thing doesn't make any sense yet, but I'm smart enough, and my philosophy is, and I've always lived by this, I wait till all the information comes out before I go make a decision.
Exactly.
Because right now, it doesn't make any sense to me. How did he get the rifle off the roof? According to the video, he didn't have it on him, but yet they say he hit it in the trees. If he had that rifle, they had his DNA already on the trigger, his palm print on the roof. But
It
there's some
doesn't
things
matter to me. It's not going to bring Charlie.
No,
back.
you're
Charlie's
right.
gone. But it's just-
he's gone. The movement's kicking in overdrive, 54,000, as Heath touched on a while ago.
Yeah.
The guy lost. Charlie Kirk won. But there's a lot of things about this case that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Please wait until you get all the facts.
Yeah, we're only going to get what they want us to have anyway.
Because
so
I'm
that's
tired of
just the way
seeing
it
these
is.
guys. I'm tired of seeing these guys go on there and they're pointing at Charlie Cook and say, "Look here, this was the bullet. This is a blood patch. That black dot on his right shoulder was not a blood patch. That was a microphone that he uses for his YouTube and his Facebook recording. He's the big mic he uses. That's for the crowd. That hooks in the speakers. I'm an entertainer. I know how that works. That big mic runs off a cord or runs off the big speakers for the crowd. That does not go on here. You got to have a mixer like this microphone here. I got to have a mixer in order for it to do that. That's what he's got. Online, he's got that one. That's what that was. It was not a blood patch. He didn't have on a bulletproof vest. You see the man's nipples when he sat down there. Okay, the bullet didn't. A 30-06 ain't going to bounce off a vest. Let's get real. Okay, and it didn't hit him in the shoulder. Unfortunately, hit him in the neck. It was a bad shot. The guy got lucky as hell.
Yeah,
okay? It's the best lucky shot you ever seen in your life. He's a worthless puke. Okay, and I'm not giving him time of day supporting him. He's mad about transgender facts and truths. Not my problem. Okay, so we need to quit celebrating. That is so disgusting to celebrate somebody's death. They did it when Hulk Hogan died. People were like, well, he was racist. You didn't hear anything about Hulk Hogan being racist until he backed Donald Trump.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? As far as I'm sure, I'm gonna piss people off. I don't give a shit about the word racism. The word racism has no teeth no more because everybody keeps throwing it out there. They keep throwing it out. Listen, everybody's been racist one time in their life. Blacks have been racist to whites. Whites have been racist to blacks, Hispanics, Asians. Everybody has the racial tendencies. Shut up. Everybody's got some type of racism. It's not a proud thing. It's not the worst thing either.
But let's take a step back. Don't we have the right in this country to be racist if we want?
Right. You do. There's no law against it. Now, you can't be hateful. You can't get on there and be hateful about it.
So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about Constitution and freedom and rights. Look, not that we are, but we have. I mean, we need to protect that right to be.
Right.
If we so choose to be.
Right. It's, you know, it's like Charlie Kirk said. Charlie Kirk did not believe in drinking. Okay. However, it was a right, and he didn't want it taken away, because a lot of people, here's what, go back to the Bible again. People twist this around. You got men saying, oh, you can't drink it. Oh, you're a sinner. No. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says, be not drunkard. Okay. It doesn't mean just on wine either. It means on cheese. Don't eat too much cheese. Don't eat too much food. Don't indulge in porn, anything that changes your life. Okay. There's several passages in the Bible. One, Jesus turned water into wine. Okay. If it's so bad, why would Jesus turn it into wine? Two, didn't one of his disciples, and this is where you come in, Commander, didn't one of his disciples give someone wine to help calm them down? There's a passage somewhere in there. What's that?
Paul said that a little bit of wine is good for a stomach ailment. And there was also several passages in there where they were warned not to put new wine into old skins with old wine, because the new wine is literally, before it ferments, that's what it is. It's juice. Okay? It's juice. Didn't want to put new wine in with the old wine, because when it fermented, the skins would swell up and burst. Okay? And it would ferment. Okay. So they were warned not to mix the new wine with the old wine. So literally, the new wine was nothing but juice. The old wine had fermented. It was wine. Okay.
Right.
And so, yeah, what all that boils down to is not to get drunk on wine. It states that. There's also a passage in there where it's best for you to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself into the river. That's basically if you know you got a brother or sister that's struggling with a certain sin, you don't want to do that to cause them to stumble and fall. So, you know, if you got a family member that is struggling with an alcohol problem, you should refrain from wanting to sit down and drink in front of them. Okay.
Right.
But
and
yeah,
the
there you go. But there's no, that's where a lot of pastors and different churches will argue this point. Well, my Jesus wouldn't drink wine. Excuse me. Okay. That was the first miracle that he did at the wedding banquet.
Amen.
Okay. First miracle. I'm just saying, first miracle. Okay.
If it's good enough for JC, it's good enough for me.
There you go.
There
you go.
So
there you go.
That being said, guys, we kept it here longer than we normally do. We apologize for that, but we're having an interesting conversation today. And if anything offended you, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just going to say, look, it's not our intention to offend you. You know, we got to find common ground. We cannot be shooting people, because listen, if that's what we're going to do, I got a list.
Yeah. And don't make fun of it when it happens. Okay?
I mean,
don't
seriously,
make fun of people getting
if this is
killed.
what we're going to do, I got a list. I'm sure, Dan, you might come up with a list. You probably got a list started. I mean, you might be a newspaper guy or two on there. Oh, Commander, you might have a list. Okay. But we don't. That's not what we do. Can we get back to the days if we got a problem, two men go out and scratch some gravel and come back in, maybe have a cold drink and talk about it and say, well, you know what, your point, we friendly disagree, but that don't mean we can't be friends. Can we get, where in the hell did that go? Can we get back to that?
And just come to a conversation to where you walk away to disagree. You agree to disagree. I mean, you know, that's basically what it comes down to. You know, you've got your side, we got ours.
Yeah, I speaking of that, I had a Second Amendment conversation with a lady from the left in Cameron on Facebook the other day. Very respectful, very informative. Okay. I mean, and that's, I tell you what, if we could model that, you know, and send it out to everybody, because that was how it should be. Respectful, yet
exactly,
you know, unwavering. Okay, she's staunch in her position, I'm staunch in mine. And we may not change each other's minds, but whoever it is that may be reading along, you know, could be possibly be influenced. So it is important to have these conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
You never know who's gonna be influenced.
That's one thing that we had when I went to school. I don't know about you gentlemen. Debate class. We actually had debate class in high school. Thank you very much. Where we learned to sit down and communicate. Okay. Oh yeah. I got one in too. I don't think she paid any attention to it.
She was top of the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guys, we appreciate you all tuning in.
Yeah,
It's
we
been
do.
It's been a great show. I really enjoyed myself on here. I enjoyed you guys' reactions on here. Those of you that watch it later on live, comment. I mean, I see who watches it live. I know we get up to 200, 300, 400, 500, some 1,000 views. I see you all doing during the week. We also appreciate it. Dan Landy and Heath Gilbert on here, friends of mine. Not ashamed to say it. And they have a mission, and they believe solidly in. If you don't, that's okay. But you do not have the right to call names, because let me break it down for you. There's a thing called freedom of speech in this country. That's wrong. Y'all misinterpret that. You have freedom of speech against your government. You have the right to petition your government when something ain't right. You don't have the right to go to your job, tell your boss, kiss his ass, because he'll fire you.
That's not freedom of speech.
Okay, that's how freedom of speech works. You don't have the right to come in my yard, tell me I'm a fat, no good, worthless man, because I'll knock your teeth out. Okay, there's blowback and there's consequences for doing such things. So, though we have freedom of speech, we got to watch what we say. There is a blowback.
And where you say it.
And where you say it. And how. I mean, my dad's the only man, he had a way of saying it. My dad could tell you to go to hell, and when he's done telling you, you look forward to the trip. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and the way he said it was, like when he cussed somebody, instead of saying F off, he got so mad, this guy. And he said, yeah, well, sexual penetration be unto you. The guy went, did you just tell me off? My dad said, you figure it out.
Yeah, there you go.
What? And then instead of telling the guy to pull his head out of his ass, he said, oh, yeah, well, sir, you need to extract him, cranium, rectum. The guy went, and he walked away. So he's like, the hell did he say to me? Did he cuss me? He give me a comment. He didn't know. My dad it was funny because I was there when that one, extracting cranium rectum. My life about that for 2 years. That was funny. But you know how we do it on here? We have a closing, and we let the guests, give a closing statement. All you gotta do is, talk about whatever. But you guys got a couple seconds apiece. So if you would, one of you guys start us off, give us a closing about whatever.
Well, I'll just say, thank God for Charlie Kirk. And I think that we need more people to act like Charlie Kirk and have reasonable, honest, and truthful conversations with the people that we disagree with. Charlie Kirk makes us better, not worse. And I hope to see a whole lot more of Charlie Kirk and his mission at Turning Point USA in every small town across America and across the globe.
Amen.
Thank you. I'd like to just wrap up and say that, we don't have to like one another, but we're commanded to love one another. And if we treat everyone with the same respect we want to be treated with, then we're going to see a change in this country and in the world.
Yeah.
This isn't just an American thing. This is a global thing. And so, we just have to win this battle. We have to win this. It is a battle. We have to win this war with love in our hearts, not hate in our hearts. And so love's always going to triumph over hate. So the golden rule is a good, it's something good to keep in mind. It's, I don't know. Oh, and there's
Excellent.
On what Dan just said on that, we're commanded to love one another. God didn't put a distance restriction on that. Some folks are meant to be loved from a distance,
Right.
So, yeah, some it's best if we love them from a distance. But we are commanded to love and to forgive. That goes hand in hand. I've had people say things, and I was forgiving them for what they were saying while the words were still hanging in the air. Because I did want to carry that. And so it's the same way when we have to love somebody, that we really don't feel like loving. But you know what? With all that being said, regardless, we're all valuable. We all have worth. We all mean something to somebody. Most of all, we mean something to ourselves. So if anybody out there is traveling in that dark place right now, I hope you tuned in. We got some laughs to you. You let that dark place slide away with the laughter and all the shenanigans that we throw on this podcast. You're loved, and just scream out for help if you need it. I mean, it takes a strong person to ask for help, and so be a strong one. Ask for help when you need it. It'll be there. Richie?
Well said, brother. Well said. Well, I'm going to piggyback off what all guests said. And guys, thank you very much for Heath and Dan for joining us today. Appreciate it. And your dog. Give your dog credit for joining us too.
Yep.
Somebody wants attention, gentlemen. I'm going to have to go. Yeah. My ears getting cleaned.
One thing that I would like everybody to get off of saying, one side is the cause of all this deal. Republicans have been mean to people. Democrats, liberals. It's not, when you do something like that, you're no longer a Democrat or Republican. You're an asshole. You're a monster. Okay. Shooting somebody because you disagree with them, it's a murderous act. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, liberal. That's crap. We shouldn't do it. You know how I feel. You're not worthless. You have value. Unless you're a child molester, then you got no value to me. That's 22 a day. That's how many veterans in this country commit suicide. And we're losing. Some numbers are coming in now 45 a day. Okay. We're not getting there. We're going the wrong way with this deal, guys. If you have a friend or family member who's all of a sudden withdrawed and they're an outgoing person and now they don't want to go outside, or they don't want to shave or bathe, or they don't want to eat their favorite foods or listen to their music, check on them. Ask them questions.
Yeah.
If they're a person who starts wearing black all of a sudden, and nothing wrong with black, you wear black, that's your thing. But if people start doing all of a sudden, and they cover up, they want to hide or be in a corner of the room, check on these people. It don't take much to feed another human being. Buy them a plate of food. Food is one of the best ways to open up a conversation with somebody. Okay. Buy them a plate of food. Be friendly. You don't know what that person's gone through in their life. Okay. If you're a person who relies on medication, may I suggest you get out of the cookie cutter mentality. Start going to some comedy shows. Listen to some music. Open up that Bible. If you're curious, and if you're listening to this podcast and you want to know a little more about religion, hey, there's local pastors in the area. But when you do that, when you search for someone, search with your heart. Okay. If you don't feel that those pastors are giving you the right information, that's not the church for you. Thank him and walk on. Okay. May I suggest you read yourself? Some people can read the Bible. You don't need to go to church. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible you got to go to a brick and mortar building to go to church. It says one or more gathered, there I am. Look at that, Commander. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Yeah. I'll drive over to your house, pat you on the back, buddy.
Yeah. You have to have a lot of gas when we get to my house. You know what I mean? I'm a Christian man, but I practice my Native American faith. You know, there's things I do when I get in my room. I tell jokes. I write a lot of jokes. I got tons of jokes. Okay, sometimes can't remember them all. They pop in my head in and out. What I'm trying to say is, guys, sitting around is bad for you. Get out, get in the sunlight. This time of year, it gets real bad for a lot of people because winter's coming on. People don't want to get outside. Okay, but deer hunting's coming. If you're a hunter, it's deer season now, buddy. It's turkey season coming up. It's deer season. It's ready to go. It's time to get outside, right?
Yep.
Well, no better place to be in touch with the Almighty than to be outside in His creation. All right. That being said, you're not worthless. You have value. Don't put the bottle to your mouth. Don't put the gun to your head. Don't put them pills in your hand. It's the wrong avenue. Don't shoot somebody because you disagree with them. Right? Don't shoot them with words. Words can hurt generation after generation after generation just with words. 50 years from now, scholars are going to look back and they're going to have all the evidence. And because somebody wrote something that wasn't accurate, they're going to get a misrepresentation of somebody. So if you're a reporter, report correctly. Report the facts. If you're watching something, watch it with an open mind. Remember, Hollywood is fake. Hollywood a lot of times is somebody's fantasy. Don't live your life, movie at a time, a song at a time. Just entertainment. That being said, take care of yourselves and each other. Have your freaking pets spayed or neutered. I'm tired of seeing all these damn cats around. All right, there's too many cats.
Make Bob
Cats
Barker
are good.
happy.
Bob Barker, that's one of the greatest philosophers in the world. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Control the pet population. Too many cats. Like cats, got a couple, but too many. That being said, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Check on the elderly. Check on everybody. Until next week, guys, we'll be in touch. We love you all. On behalf of Commander, on behalf of my friend Dan, my friend Heath, we say thank you. Be good to one another. Saturday at 5 p.m., around 5 and 5:30, well, I'm going to go live for a special report. We're going to solve a debate in my house about freaking ghosts, okay?
Yep.
Even though the Bible said there's no such thing as ghosts, but there's also things they can't explain. I've had a pastor tell me that. We're going to check it out. I promise I'll be dressed. I won't be in my, lounge attire with my fat belly hanging out, okay? So, and I won't get the sage out and paint my face up my war paint and you run the house. I won't do that. Tune in, guys. We'll see you next week. On behalf of everybody, Richard King, the bad man of comedy, saying until we meet again, Dona Dagahoy, Osta Uspi, good night. Catch me on TikTok at Redneck Pimp 101, Redneck Pimp 101 on TikTok. If you want to laugh, I post stuff on their upcoming shows, just silly, stupid, goofy crap that how's this guy do it? Love you all. You take care of yourselves and each other. Shout out to my wife for putting up with this, me doing this every Wednesday and giving up the time we spent together. She's retired. And so thank you, Commander. Well, you and I got a big project coming up in October.
Yeah, we do.
Getting with that for you. Put a little change in the pocket.
There we go.
That's it, guys. Have a good day. Vincent, Dean, BJ.
Glad you're with us, guys.
Glad you're with us. Thanks for all the comments, man. You guys keep this thing going. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean anything by it, but if you feel in your pocket you want to donate to the show, hit me up. Donation. It keeps the computer going. It keeps these things going on here. None of it goes in my pocket. It just goes to help the veterans by the podcast and the comedy shows. Richie King, until next time, you guys take care of yourselves and each other. We're out. We'll see.